Hello everyone, welcome to TELC. I'm your host Sailesh and today I'm joined by Karthik. Hello,
Hi Sailesh.
Today what we're going to discuss is basically the effects of COVID on mental health. So this is the continuation of the multi-part series that I was planning on COVID. Mental health has played a very, very big role in this pandemic. And I think everybody has gone through some sort of, mental health issues during this period at least. So here we are just trying to share some experiences that we have incurred, maybe not for ourselves, but at least what we've seen in the community or what we have done better to overcome this. Okay, so let me ask Karthik today. What do you think? What is? It's been 1 year now, right?
Correct.
So what has been? What have we seen? What have you done to overcome the mental health kind of crisis that people have been talking about?
So, I personally did not have any sort of crisis for that matter. Obviously, it was very frustrating sitting inside your home in a room and working all day. Initial first month, obviously, everybody was scared. They didn't know what it was exactly, right? So, I actually stepped out of the home after a month.
All right.
So, I was very scared to even go out because we didn't know what it was basically.
True.
And I didn't want to jeopardize anybody else by going or out or anything. So, I wanted to be indoors.
Understood.
But it was indeed a little frustrating because, it's tough sitting inside four walls and not doing anything. So, one thing that kept me active was obviously, luckily it was, shouldn't say lucky, but it was March and April. So the weather was getting better.
Right.
Obviously, just like how it is right now. Today, weather is beautiful outside.
True.
And so I started engaging in walking a lot, right? Obviously, I was a bit stubby at the time and I wanted to lose some weight. So I thought, why not? And that's a very safe exercise as well. Right. You're not going to be in close contact with everybody. You're just walking in the pavement, which is made for walking basically. And not many people were out and about as well during those months. So it was pretty empty. And you were allowed to walk, obviously, but you just have to keep masks handy. And so that when there is a situation where you have to cross a bunch of people or something, then you wear the mask.
You maintain a distance.
Yeah, and one thing that I noticed during that time was there were others as well who were walking in the route which I took as well. Odd people may cross you, right? So automatically we used to go away from each other and then come back. And so that was very good to see that people were taking it very seriously, that we have to maintain distance and not just elders but also kids.
Okay.
So as you know, during spring months and summer month, kids come out and then they play on the sides of the streets. So when I'm walking and then there are kids there where I'm walking, the moment they saw me,
they will move.
They left all their toys and everything and they moved away.
All right. Okay.
And then once I crossed, they came back. So look at the amount of education that they got both from the parents as well as the school.
True.
As well, right? That was something positive about it. So walking helped me a lot at that time, to the point where as time went by, my capacity to walk kept increasing. Right?
True.
I don't know what the technical term is, but I did a 10-kilometer walk.
Excellent.
From here to my home.
One stretch.
In one stretch, and that took me about 2 hours.
Amazing.
Walk from here to my 1 hour and 50 odd minutes.
All right.
So I took the Williams Parkway and then it's one straight road for me. So there's nowhere to turn or anything. It takes me straight to Bowhead. So
got it.
So that was very good for me. I lost a lot of weight. Obviously, again, all the weight has come back now. But again, spring has come, summer has come. So I'll start that again.
Yes,
one thing that struck me, the main reason why I motivated you to participate in this conversation is a few things which I saw during the peak pandemic. We were one of the very few lucky ones who were not financially as bad or financially hit as some of the others.
True.
Right? We were fortunate to keep a job and we were regularly working and all that. So as you know, I was using public transport. Obviously, for a couple of months, public transport was free of cost. So even people with car started using public transport so that they can save on gas, which is understandable. So I saw a lot of characters in the public transport where it was very, very disheartening, as well as it was very sad to see them in those states. I remember two specific occasions where it was I felt really bad for them, because one was a lady who I can see that she is working as a security guard because it's written on her jacket.
All right.
Security guard. I'm assuming she is one. But I'm not complaining, but I'm just pointing out the importance of this. And when she got onto the bus, she sat in one place, and then she got up, sat in another place, and then she got up, sat in another seat, and then went to the driver, and she said, "Are you going to stay for a few minutes?"
Okay.
I thought she was going out for a smoke, right? She went out, and then she stood, so if the bus is here, she stood facing the other way, and then she started talking to herself, to the air, and the next few seconds...
So the bus is not moving, basically the bus is, okay, parked.
It's at the terminal, right?
It's at the terminal, okay.
So usually at the terminal, in Trinity, the bus stops for 5-10 minutes because they wait for some passengers and then it moves again.
Understand.
So she asked the driver, "Are you going to stay for a few minutes?" And then he said yes. So she got down. Like I said, I thought she was going out for a smoke, but she didn't smoke. She was just standing there talking to herself, talking to the air, and as if she's talking to somebody.
Understood. Imaginary friend or somebody.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know what was happening. And then a few seconds later, she again came back in, and she kept doing this exercise. She was sitting in one seat, and then she kept changing. This was just a matter of 15 minutes I saw her. Okay. Right? It only takes me 20 minutes to reach here, but in 15 minutes, all this happened. Two things is, this, I've never seen this before.
Correct.
All right. So my assumption was that obviously because of the lockdown and all this stress has pushed people to their limits.
I understand.
Right. And some of them cracked.
True.
Right. So that was one occasion where I really felt bad. And another occasion, it was a very, very young guy, which was very disturbing for me as well. And he must be possibly under 20, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Or maybe at best, maybe 21, 22, not more than that. Right. And he was at the last seat of the bus, and he kept doing gestures, and he was saluting imaginary people on the bus. He was on the window side, and anytime somebody crosses, he'll salute them, and he'll turn this side, salute us, and then he'll get up. He'll go and ask directions. When he asked directions, he was fine.
Okay.
So he asked, is the next stop so and so? And he said, yes, okay, thank you so much. He comes, and then he stands near the door where it opens, and then he starts talking to himself again. And I understood a little bit because he was talking a little bit of Punjabi as well, but he had Canadian accent. I believe he was born here.
All right.
So he started talking, and the gist of it was, what did I do wrong?
Understand. That is exactly how he's feeling.
Yeah, what did I do wrong? What is my mistake? What did I do wrong? So it hit me that something has gone wrong. I don't know if it was because of pandemic or something else, because I can only assume. I've never seen this happen during other times. Correct? So that was the second occasion. A couple of other occasions I've seen similar characters where you know that they are not okay.
I get it.
And they really need help. But I can also see that they are trying their best to have a normal life.
Understand.
Otherwise, if that security lady, if she wanted, she could have stayed home, had some diagnosis and claimed ODSP.
Understood.
She didn't do that.
But
she's pushing herself. She's trying to, do something for herself and for the family possibly.
I got it.
So since then I've been wanting to make a video. I've been telling you remember as well.
Yes, I do.
We should talk about mental health because it's very, very important as well. Personally, though, I didn't have any issues because I managed to get through it and at home, whatever.
See, what I believe also is mental health, okay, I'm not an expert in combating mental health, but we are fortunate enough not to go through this. The greatness of Canada has been to support, employers and employees with wage subsidy. So whatever work we had, we still kept continuing with our work. And we kept interacting in a way where none of us felt lonely.
Correct.
That is the
We
main
had
thing.
regular Zoom calls, and
Absolutely.
phone calls. We used to talk almost on a daily basis.
Exactly. We were talking to ourselves in the sense like within the office, we would do a Zoom call. We had friend circle as well, living abroad and in Canada, who we would want to talk to.
Correct.
Because everybody wanted to, that's why Zoom, the shares or whatever went up so much, because everybody wanted to engage in some sort of a conversation with another, because you cannot be just confined to the four walls.
It's human nature.
Absolutely, right? So that is a good thing where, we were able to go out and do something. But then there are many people who are lonely, which is pretty sad. Who do they talk to? If they don't have friends, or if they don't have a family to reach out to, or if they've already been depressed, then when you're depressed, you don't want to talk to anybody. You never want to reach out to anybody. So it's very, very sad situation what they go through. Of course, Canada deployed extra personnel to support people with mental health issues.
Correct.
But it's definitely a subject that we had to talk. I know Karthik has been pushing me to get on with the subject.
Yeah.
But it's good that we were able to talk today.
As well, you pointed out correctly about Canadian government's effort to promote and create the awareness about mental health. I could see if you go to bus stops, right? There were big hoardings which explained, if you're in trouble, call this number. We are there for you.
Nice.
So the Brampton provincial government as well as the city, they set up a specific number. And they've also given specific locations where you can go. If you need any kind of help, you can go. Or if you feel anything suicidal or anything of that sort, where you feel you're not okay, you need help, you can call that number, suicide prevention basically.
All right.
And I saw on television, I'm sure you must have seen as well, if you're watching news, there was constant promotion about mental health and how, where people can reach out, how people can manage it. And news channels, we should commend them as well, because they used to dedicate a section where they talk about mental health, bring experts, help them how they can go about it and stuff like that.
This was prevalent in the initial part of the COVID. At least for 6 months, it was a constant thing. They would bring in an expert, talk to you about many life skills, social skills. If you have to have mental health issues, who to reach out to. That is a very good thing. Yeah, news channels have to be commended on this. Yes.
And you, I've given my point of view as well. You live in a big household.
Yeah, 6 people, of course.
Yeah, you live in a pretty big household, and few people living alone, that's a problem.
True.
For some, living as a group is also a problem.
Okay.
So you have to take care of aging parents, and you have to take care of your kids as well, manage their studies, online studies, and in between that, I call and trouble you, staff call and trouble you. So how did you
it's
go
a good
about
thing.
it?
Yeah, so sure. See here, this is my household. Okay, I have 2 seniors. Okay, my in-laws, and then we are 2 adults, me and my wife, and then we have 2 children who are they are now 11 and 14.
3 stages of life.
Completely 3 different stages. Okay, now here my in-laws are 80 plus. Okay, now they are the most vulnerable as what so which means we had to put in a lot of restriction for ourselves. One is because of them. If you go out, you're making sure that you come back home, you're washing your hands, you're sanitizing yourself properly before touching anything in the house. Because if we touch something and then they were to touch the same object and they were to get COVID, with any underlying condition or their age by itself, could lead into disaster. Okay, so we had to be extra careful and things. So we restricted ourselves, in terms of unless otherwise it was very, very necessary. Even to date, my in-laws, fortunately, they were just vaccinated about a couple of days back, but that's their first vaccination. So 1 year down the line, 1 year later is when this happened. So during this 1 year, we kept ourselves very, very strict in terms of following the norms, what government has set. One, for our own safety, of course. And second is, of course, you have to follow the norms. You've been put a rule, then you follow the rule. I mean, that's exactly how it's a land of the free. But the thing is, you have to put a restriction where when government says something, you obey those rules. That's how we were brought up, and that is what I like to transpire here as well. So that is one segment. Okay, and then my children, they are very young, and one of them has an health issue where it's respiratory, asthmatic if you call it. But then, so which means COVID basically attacks your lungs. Okay, So now, if I were to do anything out of the line and then come back home, one is my in-laws and the second is my child as well. So what am I trying to do? So I have to be extra careful in whatever I did. So here again, not to be affected by the mental health issues, we did go out. All of us as a family, it is a very good thing. We will all go out together for walks. We would go out to parks, trails, weather permitting, of course. We would do that. Then we used to sit down, watch movies. So that's how, I think in the last one of the episodes I did mention, we watched a lot of series of episodes like Harry Potter's, your Star Wars, and so on and so forth. So every night we would take different turns, and then of course not finish a movie one night itself. We would take a break, half the movie today and half the movie tomorrow. So that way the movie thing stretched as well. And of course, we had to encourage everybody, right? I mean, that's another thing. As an adult, myself and my wife, what we had to do was not even, go out is one thing, but when we don't go out, we're stuck inside the four walls, we would encourage everybody, the children, because they're sitting and they're doing online studies. We didn't allow them to go to school only because of the elderly parents and for their own safety as well. But if you're sitting in the house, you're obviously going to get kind of depressed or whatsoever, right? But we kept the momentum up. Okay, though myself and my wife are engaged in the calls with the office, working whatsoever, so our stress or whatever was not there, but we had to make sure that the in-laws are okay, the children are okay, keeping them beefed up in their morale and stuff like that. So that was a challenge, but which we did so far so good. Okay, and now it's a little more time. I feel another 3 to 6 months we have to go through this, but I guess we can overcome it.
I think by September.
Absolutely.
Hopefully by September we should be done and dusted with this. Or worst case by the end of the year, hopefully by then.
So till that time, we have to keep cautious. This thing up. We have to keep the morale up, be cautious, and keep it very, very strong.
Correct.
So one thing, of course, the walk, like what Karthik said, it definitely did help. I lost myself a good amount of kilos, if you call it, or pounds. So that helped. Of course, you are. Now you're back to work and you're trying to put on weight, but then of course you have to keep all this in control too. All right, that's one thing I learned, and it's been going good. But the mental health is a very, very kind of an issue which you need to tackle. You need to go out for a walk, reach out to people. I mean, that is a very, very important thing. I felt reaching out to people is very important. Going out for walks, or just mental strength, building up the mental strength, it is a very important thing.
Correct. So the mental health education is also extremely important, especially in developing countries. There's not much emphasis on mental health, or I don't see children or even adults for that matter even understanding the concept of mental health.
Very
right?
true.
So I think it would be good if other countries adopt a similar system like Canada, where there's a lot of emphasis on giving assistance to the people who are actually in need of assistance.
True.
I'm sure there are organizations who do that in developing countries, but there's no knowledge about it.
That is,
people don't know that there is help and whom to reach out to, right? So
that's a very sad thing as well, Karthik. It's a good point. Okay, see, what is not there in the news does not mean that it doesn't prevail.
Correct.
That is one thing which I learned coming to this part of the world. Everything here is out. It's out in the open. They say, okay, this person has got a mental health issue. This person has got this issue, whatsoever. They come out with it in the open. So does it look bad? No. The thing is,
it educates
people. How not to be like that, or how to overcome that. What sort of support group is there to overcome that? Which is what is phenomenal, in this part of the world, which I like. But the developing countries, they don't even bring it up. They don't understand. Okay, somebody's died of COVID. I'm not sure whether they publish it as COVID death or whether it's a natural death. So you see, there is an issue there. And somebody going through mental issue, immediately they call that person as retard.
They ridicule them.
They ridicule them. Okay, they made fun of. Okay, and they
don't feel like reaching out,
helping them. I understand there are organizations, but look at when the problem is so big and there are minute organizations trying to do things. How many people can you reach out to? Make this public. Okay, mental health should not be ridiculed, like you said. It should be brought out in the open, and we have to be considerate to those people, why they're going through. Go into the fundamentals of things, why this happened, and how do you help them out? I mean, that is what a society should be built of, not by virtue of what you have and how good you've overcome this pandemic is not what it is. Like many people, okay, I tried to go out and volunteer, but the thing is, because of my restriction with the elders and the juniors that I talked about in the house, I couldn't go out and involve much with the public. But then definitely this is the time I wanted to shine in terms of helping out people, volunteering and things like that. You could go out, you could be a help, right? What do you think?
I understand, correct. So if you think that somebody is going through something like this, any mental health, any type of crisis for that matter, at least until the COVID is over, if not even beyond that, I would say, with or without COVID, I truly believe that you have to take that step forward. Just keep an eye on people around you. Pay attention to people within your circle, your friends, your relatives, your family members. If you find something is not right with them, reach out to them, see in what ways you can help. If you're not an expert, obviously you don't have to give expert advice, but at least you can guide them in the right direction so that they can get the help that they actually need, right? So I think I truly believe that this discussion should happen more often in many platforms as well. So by any chance, if there's any expert who's watching this, if you can contribute more, you can definitely reach out to us and see if you want to add more information about how mental health can be handled as well. And like I said, try helping out, try reaching out to people that you know. And this discussion,
baby steps. See, the thing is, that's what they said. I did read a lot as well, right? And one of them said, you do only as much as you can do. You don't have to overdo things, okay? If there's only a limited 30 minutes a day you have, do the 30 minutes. Whatever you can do as a contribution in the 30 minutes, do it, okay? You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to overstretch yourself. That is not what is called for. So that is why it's a good thing that you're calling for other people who are into this, who are experts in this. Please share us your comments. That will help us, to reach out to other audience as well, and then see how better we can make these things.
Absolutely, right. So I think this has to be the start of a lot of other discussions as well.
True.
And we hope that this creates awareness to at least a handful of people who in turn can propagate the same idea to
forward.
Others.
Like they say, pay it forward, right? You help one person, the other person, that person takes it forward, and so on. That's how it multiplies, the pay it forward.
And obviously good deeds always, they have a ripple effect, and they always, what goes around comes around, like they say, right?
Absolutely.
I think this was a very important and fruitful discussion today, and I hope that this created a little bit of awareness for all of you who are watching, and I hope that this helped as well. We have a lot more coming in the next few episodes.
For sure.
A lot of interesting topics. Keep watching. If you like this video, please do give a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon as well, so that you'll be notified when we post the future videos as well. Leave your comments. We value that a lot. And if you have any ideas or any topics that we should talk about, we are more than happy to receive your feedback as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Sailesh.
Thank you
for joining me in this discussion.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you in the next one.
All right. Bye-bye.